Hey guys, how's everybody? Doing all right tonight after a 73-68 Missouri win that if you saw that coming for most of the second half, you are clairvoyant, you are smarter than me, you have more faith than me. I don't know because from the time Otega Owe hit a 70-footer at the buzzer in the first half until Kentucky's three missed with 2.5 seconds left, I don't think I ever thought Missouri was winning that game. Tons of credit. There are negatives. We can probably talk about some of them, although from the comments I've seen so far, I don't think you guys are in that kind of mood tonight. I think you're more in the mood to say, hey, my team just went to Rupp Arena and won a basketball game for the first time ever. A 15-2 Missouri run in the last 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Let me start with some big picture thoughts. Number one, Dennis Gates was right about Trent Pierce and Jaden Stone. Missouri doesn't win this game without both of those guys. Missouri doesn't beat Florida without both of those guys. They have changed this basketball team. I call Jaden Stone in my instant reaction the fixer. There were at least 3 possessions that he just bailed out, Missouri had nothing, and he gave them something. And he hit 2 threes and a driving layup. He hit the 2 free throws to end the game. Absolutely phenomenal stuff from Jaden Stone. Finished the night with 20 points, second best on the team, 6 of 10 from the field, 5 of 7 from the free throw line. Oh, by the way, Mark Mitchell, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. 7 rebounds for Jaden Stone to lead the team. Easily the best player on the floor, without question, for Missouri tonight. I see some people saying it's a little quiet. I don't know. Let me know if that's a universal problem. Might just be one person. Anyway, Jaden Stone, best player on the floor. I thought Trent Pierce, with 15 minutes left, I said, where is Trent Pierce? And then he was on the field, on the court most of the night. And you guys are saying that the sound is not good. It's literally the same as it always is. All right, let me change to my computer. You guys tell me if it's any better. Hopefully this will improve the sound. Anyway, Missouri, a 73-68 winner. Jaden Stone, phenomenal. Trent Pierce, really good. The guy that I thought turned this game around was Jacob Cruz. Kentucky had a possession, and I'm going to have to go check exactly what the score was. But Kentucky had a possession right out of the under 16 timeout. They were up 4. They had what I thought was a wide open 3. Jacob Cruz, phenomenal closeout. He got there. He blocked the 3-point shot. It started a 7-0 Missouri run. Now, Kentucky took the lead later. They took an even bigger lead later. But that run kept Missouri in a game that I thought was going to be over. And it wasn't. Missouri stayed alive. And I thought Jacob Cruz deserved a lot of credit. Sean Phillips. Look, I quit on Sean Phillips in the first half. I'm not, if you guys could read my text messages, you'd understand. I'm as dumb as you guys are during games. I just don't put it out there publicly. But Sean Phillips made some big plays in the second half. Mark Mitchell's tough because there were 3 or 4 times in that game I said, gosh, Mark Mitchell could just finish around the rim. He'd have 30 and this game wouldn't be close. But then he makes some huge plays down the stretch, including, by the way, a 3-pointer. Absolute team win. Absolute team win. Not perfect. This team isn't perfect. But they beat a Kentucky team that was begging to get beat. A Kentucky team that I think is going to be looking for a new head coach at the end of the season. Here is the biggest point, and then I'm going to get to your comments, your questions. We're going to have Drew on from Lexington at some point. The biggest point is this. Missouri started the season in the SEC with Florida at home, the defending national champions, and Kentucky on the road. a place they have never won. Missouri came out of that 2-0. And I mean, that is, guys, that is season changing. From where we were with this team, what, a week ago to where we are tonight, it is an unbelievable difference. 12-3 overall, 2-0 in the SEC. I don't know if Kentucky's a quad 1 win or a quad 2 win. I know Florida was quad 1. Kentucky, because it's on the road, I think is probably a quad 1 win, but I don't know that for sure. But the point being, they have gotten off to a 2-0 start when we thought they were going to be 0-2. I said after the last game, if you can get through the first 8 at 4-4, I think this is a team that has a very good chance to make the tournament. If you guys want to change the tournament from a hope to an expectation tonight, you can do that. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not quite there yet. Like, if this team goes on the road and backs it up with a road win at Ole Miss, which I think they're better than Ole Miss, but coming off an emotional win, second straight road game, Ole Miss probably kind of playing to save its season. If Missouri goes down and wins that one, then the tournament becomes my expectation. But I need them to do like one more thing that I'm not sure about before it becomes a full expectation. I'm not like, they can get there. I think there's definitely a chance. And I know we'll talk about that tonight a lot, but I'm not quite ready to say that they're there. So I want to get to your guys' comments. Scott Fitz, Mizzou good, Kentucky bad, both, neither. Mizzou good for long enough. The line I had written if Missouri lost this game was, in the infamous words of Dennis Green, Kentucky is exactly who everyone thought they were, and you let them off the hook. And Missouri didn't. Now, Missouri was not great by any means. I thought Missouri should have been up 10 points in the first half and wasn't. The end of the first half was bad. A lot of the second half, like, they would claw back, they would get right there, and then they would give up a bucket on defense. The defense, I thought, faltered at times in the second half. But when they had to be, Missouri absolutely very good. And look, how many times have we talked about in sports? I don't care if it's football, basketball, I don't care what the sport is. All you got to do is beat bad teams, guys. Like, I don't think Florida's a bad team. Florida's not as good as they have been, but they're not a bad team. But Kentucky, like, that's not a good Kentucky team. You need to keep losing teams losing. Missouri did that tonight. And it was not a great game from Missouri. It was not a perfect game by any means, but it was good enough. And that's really all that matters. Jordan Haying, we need to apologize to Gates. No more Gates hate. Again, every game doesn't have to be a referendum. Dennis did a good job tonight. He kept his team in it. And I'm sure there are comments about this. Look, the officiating certainly went against Missouri in the second half, most of the second half. And I got a little tired of hearing the announcers talk about Gates clapping and all that, but they made a point that in shoot around, he told his guys, you're not going to get the calls. You need to handle it well. You need to react positively to it. You cannot let it beat you. And they didn't. They were down 8 points with 4:37 to go, and they finished on a 15-2 run. I mean, guys, if that doesn't have something to do with coaching, right? If we blame the coach every time they lose, a 15-2 run in the last 4:37 has to have something to do with coaching. Kentucky couldn't even get a shot up for the most of the last 2 minutes of that game. 2 huge turnovers. I thought Trent Pierce again was huge in that. Jaden Stone obviously big. I mean, all 5 guys on the floor really at the end. You don't make a run without all 5 guys having a lot to say about it. So certainly a night that you guys should be happy. And I'm going to put this comment up now. We're going to talk about it more when Drew joins the show, but retire the Drew King curse. He has seen Missouri win away from home twice this year. And that one, I mean, that's huge. Again, first win ever at Rupp Arena, which is crazy. I knew it hadn't happened much, but I thought it had at least happened once. It apparently has not. McLovin kind of, I think, in the same boat as a lot of people tonight. Back. I'm making the drive from St. Louis Wednesday night for the game against War Eagle. 365 wideout. Imagine if they could make a free throw. This would have been an easy win, no question. But here's the biggest. How did we not talk about this? Here's the biggest play of the game. Ant Robinson goes to the line with 13 seconds to go. Still 1-1. 19 fouls on Kentucky. Misses. It's a 1-point game. He misses the front end. Trent Pierce taps the rebound out to Jaden Stone. Jaden Stone gets fouled and makes 2 free throws. The free throws aren't the biggest play of the game. The Trent Pierce tap out on the rebound is the biggest play of the game because it allowed the free throws to happen. Again, just more proof. It's 2 games, but like Trent Pierce is starting to look like the guy that we've wanted him to look like for 2.5 years now, right? I mean, huge plays in the win over Florida, huge plays in the win over Kentucky, and he looks more confident. Like he looks like he thinks he belongs out there, where there were a lot of times in his first 2 years that I don't think Trent Pierce believed he belonged out there. He does tonight. He does this year. Hey, guys, we just hit 700 people on the live stream. Appreciate that. Want to ask you while you're here to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, huge mistake on my part. I'm supposed to do this right at the beginning, but like I was running around, I was loading voicemails, the portal's going on. My life's an absolute wreck right now. I forgot. I want to thank our friends at the Bruning Law Firm for presenting this show to you. We have had the logo up in the corner. We have had the banner running across the bottom of the screen. So I hope you guys have seen that. But if you're listening on the podcast, the Bruning Law Firm is the fastest growing personal injury firm in the state of Missouri. And the guys in charge there, die-hard Missouri fans. The Bruning brothers, everybody over there is probably as happy as you guys are tonight. If you find yourself in a position where you need their services, they hope you don't, we hope you don't. But if you do, their only goal is to get you back to life as fast as they can do it. Free consultations at 573-400-2796. Once again, 573-400-2796. Dan Schweiger, when Pierce is on, he reminds me of Lawrence Bowers. Yeah, he's not the athlete Lawrence is. The build is the same. But I mean, Lawrence could fly. Maybe still can. I don't know. I got a text from him after the game. He's pretty happy. I don't know if he's on here or not. If he is, Lawrence, jump in the comments. I don't think Trent is the athlete Bowers is. I think he's a better shooter. But I see the comparison as far as the frame and all that. And, Drew has said, he just texted me, by the way, that he finished postgame. He'll be on soon. Drew has said all year long, like Trent Pierce is the guy that determines what this team is to me. And, hey, he looks pretty good. Looks pretty smart right now. Shout out to Nick Randall for some solid minutes. Yeah, he was confusing. Like, he doesn't look ready out there to me, right? Like I was saying, Trent Pierce looked like he wasn't sure he belonged. Nick Randall right now looks like he's not 100% sure he belongs, but he hustles, and he did give you some minutes. This team, I think there's a problem at the 5 spot because Sean Phillips, again, good 10, 12 minutes in the second half. And I was not ready for it, so he deserves credit for that. Luke Northweather, that's not it. Nick Randall, in stretches, like Gates has to be very, I think, judicious with how he plays Nick. He can give you a couple minutes here and there. He can't give you 20. But if you can get like 7 or 8 out of him and steal some minutes, I think this team's best lineup doesn't have a center. I think it's like Cruz, Mitchell, Pierce, Robinson, and Stone. I think that's their best lineup. Now it's small. It's probably going to get beat up on the boards, but I think it's Missouri's best lineup. But you can't play that lineup for 35 minutes a game. You got to have some size at some point. T-Rise forgot to call us idiots at the beginning of the show. I didn't. I thought I'm going to be. Look, there's 735 people here with me. It's been a long day. I appreciate you joining us. I just, I know idiots has become kind of an endearing term here, but I was solo. I made the executive decision not to call you idiots tonight. How different would it have been with Pearson Stone against Kansas? Look, I don't know. That was a kind of a blowout. Maybe they changed that game, maybe not. I don't know. The one they changed is Notre Dame. And like Drew said, excuse me, after the last game, if the Notre Dame game is different, if you just flip that one, like this team's 13-2 and 2-0, and I think we kind of look at everything differently. I think that's the one that really had a sour taste in people's mouths. But like that one's kind of gone. Florida and Kentucky kind of erased that. Now, maybe at the end of the year, you look back and go, man, that's the one that really hurt us. But for now, I think that one is probably out. Let's see, rolling through some of the comments. A lot of Trent Pierce, Lawrence Bowers conversation. Do you think putting Trent in the starting lineup in place of Phillips would be a bad move? I don't, but I think Dennis likes to start the game with a big man. And like he has been pretty consistent over his few years of liking a guy that probably should be a starter coming off the bench. And I understand, like Trent Pierce coming off the bench, it kind of injected something into that team. Now, I think if you want to put Trent in the starting lineup, it's in place of Cruz. But I think Cruz has kind of earned that over the first half of the season. And again, I thought he had a 3 or 4 possession stretch where he really changed the game, especially on defense. But I don't mind Pierce coming off the bench, especially because it is still just his second game. He's still getting, I think, into game shape. So I understand the argument, certainly. And if he started Trent Pierce, I would not have any issue with it. But Chunky Shrapnel, why is Trent Burns not playing more? Look, guys, I think they just don't think he's good enough right now. I just don't. That's where we stand. Because I've got to believe, especially with the lack of consistency. I won't say the lack of production, but the lack of consistency at the 5 spot. If they thought that Trent Pierce was good enough, Trent Burns was good enough, I think he'd be playing, and he is not playing. I see Drew King in the green room. You look like you're standing up. Drew, whenever you're ready, give me a thumbs up. I can't really okay. We've got a thumbs up from Drew King, so we're pop him on the screen. Drew, I think there's going to be an echo, so I will hide your microphone.
There's an echo?
There is okay. Yeah, there's a big echo now it's better. Okay, now it's better. It went away. All right, so I saved this comment for you. Got a type of kudos again to Drew King. More prophetic every single game now.
Gonna just
okay.
Thank you. Okay. No, just show of hands, like where are the DKF believers in the chat? Show of hands, where are the people who were upset at me over the rant when I said, like, hey, maybe let's not bury the team yet. It's only been 2 losses. I just want to show of hands in the chat. That's all I want, Gabe. That's all. I would just want to see who's here.
At one point, and I can't find the comment now, but ST Richards did predict that you would coming into the show peacocking. So, but okay. they have given you credit. Look, huge night for the DKF, man. Somebody said we should retire it.
Yeah, I think. I guess I should have gone to Italy sooner. Like that might have just gotten all the bad juju out. I guess
clean slate. Everybody feels better about things. I can see that.
You might be wondering, why am I standing out in the concourse? It's because Mark Pope is doing his radio show out on the floor right now. So it's a little loud in there. I wanted to be somewhere quieter. I don't have a chair, though.
I bet Mark Pope's radio show is not as super popular. I bet there's a lot of hate listening going on to that in the state of Kentucky.
There's a lot of people out there. I'll tell you that.
Are they booing?
No, but they should be.
Yeah.
Mark Pope, Callum McAndrew mentioned this to me. He's like, Mark Pope seems pretty depressed in the press conference. Like he seems sad.
Like Drew, a lot of people had said, and I do not want to take away from the Missouri win. Like 15-2 run in the last 4.5 minutes on the road, a place they've literally never won a game. They deserve all the credit. But like everybody talked about how bad that Kentucky team is, and I thought, it's still Kentucky. No, that's not a good basketball team, man.
No. And actually, credit to Callum. He actually predicted the win tonight. I did not. I had him as a 10-point loss, but and Callum had like 73 to 71, I think was his prediction. So like on the money from him. But yeah, like
he needed one of those threes to go down for Kentucky.
Exactly. But yeah, like again, like not to go back to my rant, but I never said this Missouri team was good. I just said like let's pump the brakes on them being dreadful, right? Which is what a lot of people were treating them as. This Kentucky team seems pretty dreadful, personally.
Yeah.
So not a lot of threes going down. Otega Owe hasn't been SEC Player of the Year caliber like people thought he was going to be, and they are still getting guys back from injury. But man, I don't know where Kentucky goes from here. That was a rough one for them.
Well, and I think Tom Hart said on the broadcast first time they've started 0-2 since the 8th year of the SEC, which seems like it was probably a long time ago. But we'll focus on Missouri. I have already confessed to the show that, like, were my text messages made public during this game, I would be proven to be as dumb as they are. Like, I quit on this team probably 8 different times tonight. You get some of those texts. You are actually working, so you don't usually have time to respond to me. But
yes,
how many times did you think, okay, this isn't going to happen tonight? Or did
the three at the half, I was with you. I was like, that probably just sunk them. Like, I don't know how you rebuild the momentum after that. And then when Mizzou goes down by 5 again, I think, or 5 or 6, pretty late in the game.
Went down by 8 with 4.5 minutes left.
Right. It was like, and like Dennis Gates burned all his timeouts too. It's like, I don't know how you climb back into this one. Like the threes aren't falling. And man, they got a lot of lucky bounces, Gabe. I'll tell you that. Like Otega Owe missed a layup. They committed 2 turnovers. Jalen Lowe missed the final 3 when I thought Missouri probably should have fouled up there. But they got the job done. So I don't know what to make of this game. But
yeah, that's interesting. You said foul there because Dane Bradshaw said on the broadcast, he said, in most situations I'd foul. Against this Kentucky team, I wouldn't. He said, I don't trust him to make the shot.
I don't trust Mizzou to defend the 3 is the issue.
Right. Absolutely fair. We got a super chat from Kyler. Feels really good to have never gotten off the Gates train. I thought Stone threw it away at the end for a second. Drew, and those last 20 seconds were like a clinic in, no, I don't want to win. Would you like to win?
No, it was reminiscent of the Vanderbilt game from last year. And I thought that's how it was going to go down. Where like you had every opportunity to put this game away and you didn't. And here comes Kentucky roaring back. But Kentucky was like, no, y'all got it tonight. You can have this one. So, man, a weird game, all-time weird game. I did not think this was going to be the team that got the first win at Rupp Arena. I'll tell you that. Like, this is shocking to me.
Like, I think they're better than Kentucky, but I wasn't sure I trusted them to win this game. So, and we're not going to keep you here too long because you're standing up in the middle of the concourse. I'm going to give you 2 plays that, like, look, Jaden Stone was the player of the game tonight, no question. But I'm going to give you 2 plays that I thought turned this thing around or were the biggest plays. Number 1, I thought Jacob Cruz turn this game around because about 16.5 minutes left. Missouri's down 4. He blocks a 3. Missouri hits one on the other end. He plays really good defense again. Missouri goes down. It's a 7-0 run. Like, it didn't ice the game. It didn't put them ahead for good or anything. But I thought that little stretch, and especially Cruz defensively, like Kentucky could have ended the game there, and he kept them from doing it.
I can't remember who it was, but Kentucky, came up with the steal and Cruz challenged the driver at the rim and just went straight up.
Yeah.
And Callum and I were like, that's the best defense we've ever seen Jacob Cruz play. Yeah,
Because that was the possession right after he blocked the three.
yeah, exactly. So like Cruz still very impactful despite only having the 3 points tonight. But and I asked this to Jaden Stone after the game. I was like, y'all got big minutes from T.O. Barrett. You got big minutes from Nick Randall, of all people. You got big minutes from Trent Pierce. Like, how does that, like, what kind of difference does that make when you're getting those kind of contributions off the bench? Because that's been a huge issue in the past. Like the 23-24 season, they got nothing off the bench. When you can get those kinds of minutes from those specific players, you can beat Kentucky on the road. And so, like Nick Randall didn't score. He was really impactful tonight. He was one of their better bigs tonight. T.O. Barrett, Jaden Stone was like, I came out of the game and T.O. Barrett took us to another level. He elevated us. So I thought that those were some of the players who made the biggest difference. Were the unsung heroes of tonight.
And the other one, and I'm sure this one will get plenty of attention. I mean, we've talked a lot about Trent Pierce already and how different he looks. But I mean, if he doesn't tip that ball out to Jaden Stone with off Ant Robinson's miss, who knows what happens? Like Jaden deserves credit for making the free throws, but Trent Pierce allowed it to happen.
Yeah, 1000%. And Jaden Stone was like, the narrative shouldn't be like me and Trent are back and everything's good now. Like the narrative should be we all collectively picked our heads up after the Illinois game, right? And like we've built the chemistry all together, right? So, but you are correct. Like Pierce has taken it to another level. Jaden Stone has picked up where he left off. Okay, here's another thing, Gabe. I, for one, did not expect Jaden Stone to be this good defensively.
I didn't expect him to be this good, period. Just end of
Right.
sentence.
Like you figured he could knock down some shots because he averaged 20 at Detroit Mercy, but he dropped 20 against Kentucky on the road. And on top of that, like he was their leading rebounder tonight. That's crazy to me. And it, like was holding Otega Owe in check for like the first 15 minutes of the first half. Like I was incredibly impressed by Jaden tonight.
Yeah, no question. And that's very nice and modest of Jaden Stone to say. But look, the difference in this team in the last two games is Jaden Stone and Trent Pierce are playing. We do, by the way, I don't know if you can see on the screen, Drew. We have a lot of hands up.
We got a lot of hands. Yes.
For your
I just wanted to see them. Thank you, everybody.
A lot of people are there with you. One thing I didn't realize until I got on the show here, Sebastian Mack did not leave the bench.
That's correct. Honor Boateng also didn't get in until like midway through the second half. So kind of a tighter rotation in general from Dennis Gates. And, I asked you last game, can you win with going one deep off the bench? But I think going three deep, you can do that in the SEC for sure.
You're good. Droll Panther says Italian Drew changed our season. Do you know what Drew would be called in? It's like, is there a different name? Is there an Italian version of Drew?
I know it's like Andres in Spanish, but so I maybe it's similar in Italian.
Okay. We'll check it out. All right. You want to stick around for one voicemail, or do you want to go work?
No, I'm good for some voicemails.
Okay. We'll start the voicemails. We got a decent amount of them. So.
Hey, Gabe, $70,000 a year, 2021 Toyota Tacoma. Aquarius is my zodiac sign. I wear a size 33 pant size, but I'm losing weight, so I'll get that down to a 32 soon enough. And the reason I committed to Power Mizzou is because I really like the facilities and the brotherhood. Really impressed me. MIZ.
That was the whole call. I really thought there was going to be something more at some point.
It might be a little bit too early to say this, but just to me this year, it seems like T.O. Barrett is kind of a liability on the offensive side. It just seems like he's like a little too scared to shoot the ball. Seems like he's just so trigger happy or trigger shy. And last year, it kind of seemed like he was like, I don't know, he was doing some pretty nice stuff offensively. There were some pretty cool things that he did last year. But I think Dennis in one of his post-game press conferences said that he was trying to coach him up on not doing stuff that would work in high school, but not in college. And I think it might be messing with his head a little bit just because every time he touches the ball, it just seems like he's looking to pass. What do you guys?
I mean, he made a couple shots tonight, but like that's
Mhm.
T's game. He's not going to go score 15.
Correct. Yeah, Tio's been more of a connector for most of his career, I would say. Um, like he's probably never going to be a number one option. He's never really been a long range shooter at all. Like that's never been a huge part of his game. What I do like about Tio is that he likes to force the issue getting to the paint, and sometimes it goes really horribly wrong. Tonight it went pretty well. Like he nailed 3 layups. He had the and one. And then in addition to that, I love the way he sees the floor. He's really good at finding the open man or throwing somebody into open space. So I thought T.O. was huge for them tonight.
Drew, I haven't really mentioned it yet. We talked you kind of briefly made reference to it. Can this team just never have the ball with the shot clock off in a lead late in the first half? Like, what the hell, man?
Somebody in my thoughts at the half said they should just kneel it next time, just take a knee.
I like it.
Which it was like the complete opposite of what happened last game, where they draw up this like beautiful play where Burns comes off a back screen and hits the 3 at the buzzer. Like, why don't you run that again? I didn't get it.
Well, they didn't even get to the point of being able to run anything though, because like Ant Robinson just threw a 50-foot pass to no, like I don't know what the plan was.
I think he was expecting I think it was Stone on the wing. I think he was expecting Stone to cut to the rim, and he kind of lobbed it in there, but Stone didn't cut, and so the ball just sailed. But yeah, Ant Robinson, 10 assists and 3 turnovers.
10 assists. Wow.
Yeah. And a point shy from a double-double. Should have hit a free throw.
Okay. Yeah, would have been a little easy. Like, look, Missouri made it more difficult than they had to, but absolutely monstrous win. All right, we're going to try to get you a good call to get you on your way to right here.
Hey, gentlemen, first time listener, long time caller, 43.5 a year, Honda Civic, Chevy Silverado on the weekends. Just a quick question. Could we get some stickum for the bottom of T.O. Barrett's shoes? The guy was sliding like an ice rink out there. That is all.
Did you notice that? I didn't notice it.
I didn't know. Not me personally. I thought he was going to say stick him for Sean Phillips's hands.
Yeah.
Stick him for.
I don't know if he made a mistake there, but he said first time listener, long time caller. So does he just call in and never listen?
That's what it sounded like.
He reversed it?
Yeah.
I like to think that he just leaves us voicemails, but never actually listens to the show.
Well, but like he knew the rules. Like he gave us his salary and what kind of car he drives. So
true. All right, to get you out of here, what was kind of the post game vibe? I mean, what did Dennis have to say? And I assume they feel great coming out of this one.
Yeah, I thought it was Mark Mitchell's best press conference personally. Like, he was great. I'm bad at remembering quotes, like unlike you, Gabe. So I can't remember specifically what everybody said.
Just make them up. We can do that, right?
Oh, okay.
There's no penalty there.
So Gates really loved the 8 core values that he saw out there. This isn't a lie. He did give a shout out to Leonard Hamilton, said that he talked to him last night. Leonard Hamilton obviously has connections here. Didn't say anything that Leonard Hamilton told him, but said that they talked last night. Yeah, and then I thought like Mark Mitchell had some great quotes. They both gave a lot of props to Sean Phillips, and he did have some big time buckets in the post tonight.
Second half.
Yeah. And I think that was one of your texts to me was like Sean Phillips can't be in there, but I told you, like, the hook shots are getting done.
Look, I said in instant reaction, I said like his second half was much better because at one point I had it written that he just was unplayable.
Yeah.
So good. Kudos to I mean, kudos to a lot of them. Like like that game would have been very easy to mail in and give up because I certainly thought
Yes.
they were cooked 2 or 3
Yeah.
times, and they didn't do it, and they deserve credit for it. Did anyone at the post-game press conference acknowledge that you are no longer a curse to Missouri basketball?
Unfortunately not.
It's
Trying to think.
maybe if they win Saturday, if you get a road winning streak, I feel
Yeah.
like that deserves acknowledgement.
Oh, let's not jinx it. Let's not push our luck here. But
Okay. Fair enough. All right, man. Well, hey, you're standing in the concourse. I know you got a ton of work to do. You get to drive to Oxford, Mississippi tomorrow. So
yes.
I'm gonna let you go unless you just like want to hang out here.
I'll probably get to work, but y'all have fun. Thanks for everybody for showing your hands in the chat. I will see y'all in Oxford.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, man. Drew King from Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. He's going to have continuing coverage, tons of stuff for you guys on the site tonight, tomorrow morning. And then, like I said, he is driving to Oxford, Mississippi. He will cover Mizzou Ole Miss Saturday night from Oxford. So plenty of stuff all week long. Basketball. Look, hey, I'll be honest. I didn't even know what time the game was until about 5 o'clock today because basketball, like, kind of doesn't exist in my world right now with the portal going on, but Drew doing a phenomenal job covering the team. We're going to get to the rest of the voicemails. I do want to remind you here mid-show that the post-game shows all year long being brought to you by the Bruning Law Firm, the fastest growing personal injury firm in the state of Missouri. The Bruning brothers, huge Mizzou fans. They look at, if you have a choice, why not give your business to people that support the same things you do, right? The Brunings support not only Power Mizzou, but Mizzou sports all around. And you can reach them for a free consultation, 573-400-2796. Again, that number is 573-400-2796. They're located in Missouri, but they can help you across the state of Missouri, Illinois, even over in Kansas. Get in touch with them and get that free consultation, 573-400-2796. So we're going to zip through some of these voicemails. I'll check out a few more of your comments as we get going.
Hey, Gabe, it's Drew in St. Louis here. $500,000 a year. Drive a Porsche 911 GT3. Wanted to see about getting some recommendations for a hotel in Indianapolis this year for the Final Four. Maybe something with 2 beds, pull-out couch, so me, you, and Drew can hang out in the same room. Maybe go chill in the sauna, drink some beers, and talk some ball. Anyway, big win, MIZ.
I am so disappointed that was the call right after I let Drew go. Look, I always recommend the Hilton properties. That's where Drew and Cody stay on the road. That's where I always stay. So there are some nice. I've stayed in a lot of them in Indianapolis for swim meets.
Man, oh man, what a win. Drew King, take your belt off because we put that BTA to Kentucky. Man, oh man, what a win.
Okay, there you go. Good enough.
2024 Hyundai Santa Fe, $58,000 a year. Ooh, that was a hard-fought game. It was gritty. It was tough. They looking a little better. I'm glad they hitting shots. Do y'all remember like 10, 15 games ago when they were almost lost to, who was that? SEMO or something? Or one of them, super mid schools, and they almost lost. We were upset. They 2-0. That's a good deal. MIZ.
Dude, I remember 15 days ago when they lost by 43 points to Illinois, and we wrote the season off, if not the coach and the program. So, in all seriousness, hell of a turnaround for this team. And like Jaden Stone says, the other guys deserve credit, and the other guys do deserve credit. But Stone and Pierce coming back has been huge.
Gabe. P from Chesterfield, 2015 Mazda CX-5, 140,000 miles a year. Holy shit, that's some heart, fight, and grit from your Missouri Tigers. Shout out Dennis Gates. That was another miraculous coaching performance tonight. Down by 8, 4 minutes left. He burns the last one. You know what they do coming out of that timeout? 7-0 run. Happy New Year, BBN. You keep coping with Pope. You know what, Gabe? That's the most expensive and probably most pathetic roster I've ever seen in Kentucky basketball history. But it don't matter. We're 2-0 in the SEC. Shit, we're about to pop that bubble and get right in this damn tournament. 16 more to go. Can't stop now. MIZ.
Excellent call. And look at the Kentucky roster. I do want to point out Jaden Quaintance had 1 point tonight. Like nothing about that. 1 point on one shot, 1 for 4 from the line, 4 rebounds. Like wasn't on the court at the end of the game. 2 turnovers. Non-factor. I mean that's just non-factor.
Justin from Jeff City, $25 to afford my crack addiction in the stall every Thursday. I don't know how we won that game. We never win that game, ever. Like, we got screwed by the refs. I mean, it was ticky-tack for Kentucky, and we couldn't get a foul to save our life. Just the free throws, at least, you can admit, were lopsided. And then they hit a miracle 3-point at the end of the first. And then the crazy, like, turnover fiasco at the end of the second before, like, the true, like, end of the game. Like, we never win that game. I don't know if this team's good. They're starting to, like, really flip my expectations, and that's probably not good for me long term. But, yeah. Also, no more Phillips post-ups, please. I think we had, like, 5 of them tonight. If you don't count the opening game where it was just like the opening play where it was just denied to him. We scored off 1 and we missed on 2. We missed on 1 and we had a very, 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 very embarrassing turnover that led to a momentum shifting transition too. So, MIZ.
Look, there's some good points in there. Out rebounded. Only won the turnover battle by 1. Kentucky shot 6 more free throws. Missouri only 6 for 17 from 3-point range, and Kentucky hit a 70-footer. And Missouri won the game. Like I told you guys after the game on Saturday, after the win over Florida, what I liked was that was one of the first times I'd seen a Dennis Gates team come out and beat a good team. It wasn't because they just shot lights out and put up 94 points. Like they just won a traditional basketball game. And this one, they won kind of an ugly basketball game. They didn't play their best. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. They missed some free throws. They had some things go against them. The calls were lopsided, and they won the game anyway. Like this team's, I think, starting to show us some things that we haven't really seen out of Dennis's teams in the first 3 years.
Gabe.
We already heard that one. My bad.
Gabe, Patrick from Oakville here. God, I haven't felt that good after a game since Kansas last year. Yes, I know it was not the most significant win last year. Of course we beat Alabama. Of course we beat Florida. But as a fan, you want to beat Kansas. And likewise, I know Kentucky isn't the same old Kentucky like Kansas wasn't the same old Kansas last year. But we were 0 for 9 at Rupp Arena. God, it feels so good to win there. I don't care that this is not a Calipari Kentucky team. We still went into Rupp Arena and won after we got absolutely murdered and we thought the season was over against Illinois. It just feels so good. It reminds you why you're a fan. God damn. Fight, Tiger. This one's worth taking your shirt off. By the way, Drew, 2024 CRB and my W2 was higher than expected. I was very happy this year.
I'm going to remain clothed, but like, look, there's a lot of that tonight. Like, you guys should enjoy this one, no question. Not only because of the way it happened, but yes, because it's Kentucky, right? The Alabama football game this year, there was a lot of, we know this isn't Alabama. We know they're not dominant, but like, there's still the white A on the red helmet, and beating them is still something that doesn't happen a lot, right? And Missouri came up a little short in that one. Like, you have never won a game in Rupp Arena. And I don't care that is not John Wall or Anthony Davis or Ron Mercer or Jamal Mashburn or picked a great Kentucky player. I don't care that that's not this team. Their jersey still says Kentucky. That was still Rupp Arena, and you won a basketball game. That absolutely, that is a night you should celebrate.
Gabe, it's Schiff. I don't know if I have to give my salary and make and model of my car again since I've done it before. You've never specified if that's the case. Hello to you and Drew. Couple things. First of all, I had an easier time finding Waldo in that game than Jaden Quaitnance. Between the year at Arizona State and what he's done so far at Kentucky, I know he's been injured, but I think any fan that's lost sleep over not getting him should go back to bed because I think that didn't end up being the miss we thought it would be. And second, credit to this team. You know, it reminds me they've been two weird wins that you thought maybe that they shouldn't have won. It reminds me a little bit of the 2014 Mizzou football team where they just kind of found ways to win no matter how ugly it was, and there's something to be said for that. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. God bless Mark Pope. He's going to need it tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah. Mark's in trouble. Saturday's huge for this team, guys. And this is how it works, right? I not diminishing tonight at all, not ignoring tonight or trying to move past it. But every time you win, the next one gets a little bit bigger. And beating Florida at home, beating Kentucky on the road. Again, you look at that before the season. Like, we looked at Missouri's schedule before the season, and you could see an 0-5 SEC start, like without trying too hard, right? You had Florida at home. Well, obviously, they're going to be great. Kentucky on the road. Well, you're not going to win that game. Ole Miss on the road. Road game. Ole Miss going to be pretty good. Went to the tournament. Chris Beard's a good coach, all that. Back home for Auburn. We know what Auburn's been lately. Like, you could see 0-4 easy. And then if you're 0-4 going to LSU, who knows what's going to happen? Well, now you beat Florida at home. You won at Kentucky. Ole Miss is not as good as they were supposed to be. Oxford, maybe you can go get one there. Maybe you could start 2-0 on the road. You do that, you come home. Auburn's not nearly as good as they were supposed to be. Turns out the guy on the sideline mattered a little bit, and Dad was better at it than the kid is so far. So then maybe instead of 0-4 going to Baton Rouge, maybe you're 4-0. Even if you're 3-1, I think you're in great shape. Like, I think you get – I wrote it on Monday. Drew and I talked about it on Saturday. Get one this week. They've already done that. It's like when you're shooting the 1-1, right? Bad example with Ant Robinson tonight. But, you can't get the second one if you don't get the first one. But the goal coming in is 1-1. Well, when you get that first one, all of a sudden, you're in a lot different position. That second one seems a little bit easier. Now, look, Ole Miss has some talent. Beard's a good coach. It's a road game. You're not just going to walk in and have it be easy, I don't think. But this team should go in with a ton of confidence, and all of a sudden this put itself in a spot that none of us saw 2 weeks ago.
Gave $65,000 a year, Chevy Malibu, 18 years old, her car on a gravel road. This team was left for dead after the Illinois game, right? We all know that. But I want to remind all my fellow Power Mizzou fans, it's a really, really long season. This is not football. You don't have 12 chances and only 3 of them really matter. We had 31 games on the schedule. They still don't have Javon Porter. I think he will make a difference in the rotation. I know you don't. But they didn't have Jaden Stone. They didn't have Trent Pierce. They didn't have their squad. I know it was an exhibition game, but they beat Kansas State with everybody. Like, in the exhibition game before the season started. Like, we saw glimpses of what this team could be capable of. This is not, a Coach K Duke team. It's going to run the table and, cut down all the nets along the way. But this is a good basketball team. They were never going to go 0-18. I'm very, very, very optimistic about where they can go, and I kind of always was. I believe in Dennis Ray Gates.
I have no idea if that's his middle name. It seems like not, but if it is, cool. Look, good for you, man, because I didn't. Like, I never thought 0-18 was on the table. I didn't think they were anywhere near that bad. But after Illinois, I did not think this was a good basketball team. I'm impressed that you had that faith. I don't really know where it came from because they didn't do anything in the first 2 months of the season to show me they were good. And all of a sudden it's 2026 and man, it's like they just made a New Year's resolution. Hey, let's win. Let's just do the wins. Those are better. So we should try that. 2-0 so far.
Gabe, Drew, John from Kansas City here. I drive a 2013 Prius, and I'm an entrepreneur, which is the dumbest thing that you could be in America because last year I made negative a lot of dollars. My thing for this game is, man, I'm just so mad that Dennis Gates can't coach. I'm angry that he doesn't know what he's doing. And when Mizzou gets this ticky-tack crap foul called against us, against Kentucky, it just makes me mad that the players have a strategy to deal with that and handle it. And honestly, I think that when this team gets punched in the mouth, it just makes me mad that they can't respond to it. They don't know how to get back up off the mat. They have no idea what they're doing, and this coach is inept. M-I-freaking-Z. What a fun game. What a fun team.
I think I probably missed a lot in the game thread.
All right, I lose $70,000 a year paying for graduate education. I drive a 2017 Dodge 1500, but it's all worth it to say that I'm a proud Missouri Tiger after that win today, boys. Can't believe it. I mean, start this team. Who would have thought that this team would be the first one to start 2-0 in SEC play or win in Rupp Arena? Not me, not after Illinois. I give Dennis Gates a lot of credit for that. The lineups, I still don't really understand sometimes. Randall has improved so much on the defensive end and rebounding, but still, if he would just take a shot, I'd love it. Seems like we have, between him, Boateng, and Barrett, we don't have someone who wants to take a shot on the floor most of the times, but I think that's still to figure out. Overall, love the grit. Free throws, we still won with free throws, so fantastic. How about that, MIZ? Also, that Moreno cat seems like he got a full presidential pardon for the amount of like bulldozing and fouls he was able to do without getting called. Unbelievable.
Yeah, look, I think you kind of expect that on the road at Rupp, and Dennis Gates certainly did. Did anybody else get Herb Brooks and Miracle vibes toward the beginning of that call with the boys and the Chicago or Wisconsin kind of accent? Just wondering.
Name, Nate, salary, $55,000. Car, still a 2017 Honda Civic. I said last time to put the word out that we back up. I wasn't kidding. I meant it. Because just as everyone predicted, Trent Pierce and Jaden Stone are the difference between the worst team in America and a team that's going to the Final Four. We back up. MIZ.
Nate, appreciate the call. Dennis Gates kind of predicted it. Good for him, man.
I say every single time we win on the road for the rest of the year, Gabe, you got to get Drew some McDonald's, maybe some chicken nuggets. I say every single time.
Okay. Hey, Drew is free to eat wherever he would like. There's a lovely establishment in Lexington I recommended to him, but it's probably going to be closed by the time he gets done writing. It's already 10:30 Eastern time where he is. So, if he wants to DoorDash McDonald's again and take his chances, I will reimburse it.
Cautiously optimistic, but still feel like they're a player away.
I mean, a player away from what? I guess a player away from a tournament team, maybe. Yeah, like, look, I told you I'm not quite there yet. Like, the tournament is not a foregone conclusion for me. They're 12-3. If they can go 8-8 the rest of the way, if they can play 500 ball the rest of the way, they're going to make the tournament. So you split every week from here on out. Yeah, but like, I don't know what you're saying a player away from, I guess is my point.
Gabe, Thomas here, $25 an hour, 2008 Toyota Solera. That was awesome from Dennis today in the last two games, honestly. Haven't seen him mold our play style to fit the game like he did tonight, where Kentucky wanted to go slow first half, and rather than try and outpace them and shoot bad shots, we adapted. We played great defense down the stretch. The switch by Mark Mitchell at the end there on the three, beautiful. Hopefully it continues. MIZ.
So that brings up an interesting point. I was talking to a friend a couple weeks ago who, like, this guy knows basketball, knows it much better than I do. And what he said about Gates at the time, he said, he's kind of like Mike Anderson. Like, he's only got one way to beat you. And if that way doesn't work, we just haven't seen him do it any other way. Well, now we have 2 games in a row. And I think that's the most encouraging thing. Like, you've seen him win games that Missouri doesn't win games with 70 points. Or, I mean, they've won a few, but like, beating good teams, they're usually up 85, 90, something like that. They've won games with 76 and 73. That's very, very encouraging.
Well, Mizzou did every single thing they could to lose that game in the last 2 minutes, but Kentucky, I guess, choked harder. So they come away with a win. I'll say the most impressive thing about that game really was Kentucky had quite a few runs where I thought Mizzou was down and out, but they seemed to have an answer every time. So it's really good to see that resiliency. Dennis is.
I would not say that Mizzou did everything it could in the last 2 minutes to lose the game. I would say Missouri did a lot of things to lose the game in the last 28 seconds. Had the missed free throw, had the turnover. But Kentucky didn't take advantage of it, and Trent Pierce made the play. But like, Missouri did a lot right in the last 4 minutes. The last 30 seconds, not exactly a clinic on how to close it out, but it worked.
This is Matt calling in. I make about $15,000 a year doing Grubhub deliveries on my bicycle in the Washington, D.C. area. What a win. We are family. All my brothers, sisters, and me. Come on.
First half of that call, excellent. Second half of that call, less than excellent.
Gabe, Drew, what a gleeful Wednesday night. Not only did the Tigers get a clutch win, but I found out I'm getting a raise today, going from $30,000 up to $38K. Feeling pretty good. Finally going to be able to pay off that Kia Soul. Anyways, good win for the boys tonight. What a difference does Jaden Stone make? I mean, love the guy. Having him in there is definitely a difference maker. I don't know yet what the season's going to look like. I just don't know if Kentucky sucks or what. But both teams played pretty good defense tonight. It got a little bit sloppy late, but, something to look forward to. So, yep. Well, anyways, in celebration tonight for the Rays and the win, I soaked some McDonald's Nuggies and Dr. Pepper and going to enjoy those and slop them up. So, all right, cheers, boys.
All right. I love that that's become a part of this show. I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought. Good call. We're going to move on to the next one.
Hey, so 145,000 a year, 2017 Tacoma. Just want to say, Dennis Gates, I'm sorry. That's it.
There you go. We got one more, guys.
Can we just acknowledge that Dennis Gates doing this sarcastic clap at the sidelines, like getting his team to clap when he obviously disagrees with the call? Like, are we 5 here? Contrast that with Pope, who gets teed up in the first half, goes absolutely ballistic, and then gets every call in the second half. But Gates sarcastically claps. MIZ.
Gates was 1-0 tonight. Pope was 0-1 and probably going to lose his job at the end of the year. So, yeah. Appreciate all the calls. Appreciate all the comments. And yeah, you guys are asking Tiger Terry. Guys, I just checked the voicemail again. I have downloaded every voicemail we have. I just checked it. We do not have a call. Tiger Terry always leaves his name on the calls. And we do not have a Tiger Terry voicemail tonight. I wish we did. But we don't. There's nothing I can do about that. Hey, we got an Illinois fan on here saying congratulations. See, everybody cheers against Kentucky at Rupp. So yeah, no Tiger Terry, but solid show. We had, I think we hit 800 people, which is pretty awesome. St. Richards wants to send a wellness check on Tiger Terry. I think he'll be here. I'm hoping Saturday night against Ole Miss. I think maybe Terry just out having a drink, celebrating the game. You know, maybe his wife told him he had to put the phone away for a night. I don't really know. But he'll be back. A lot of people coming back on this team. If you gave up, don't feel bad. If you thought they had no chance to do what they've done the last 2 games, don't feel bad. Hope is back. Expectation is back. All good. Saturday's big. But look, there's going to be a night somewhere along the line where they just don't have it. Or they don't show up, or the free throws beat them, or, hey, playing on the road in this league is tough. Like, there's going to be one at some point. But I will say that there are a whole lot of teams who would not go 2-0 against Florida and at Kentucky. And Missouri just did that. That gives you a big, big, big leg up on a good number of teams in this league. You play 500 ball the rest of the year, I think you're playing in the NCAA tournament. That's a very good place to be. Few people asking if there's going to be an antechamber. There is. Rather than write a post-game basketball column, I am going to put together some portal stuff, and we'll have all of that for you guys tonight. Appreciate you hanging out here. Would ask that you hit the like button, share, subscribe, do all of those things for the show. I'm going to put this together for a podcast here when we get done. If you're listening via that avenue, please leave us a nice comment and a good review. And whatever you do, make sure you support our sponsors, as we always ask you to do. Our sponsor for the basketball postgame shows, the Bruning law firm in the fine city of St. Louis. Missouri basketball suffered serious injury there about 16 days ago, but it's back. They did not need the Bruning law firm to fix things for them. But if you suffer an injury, you can reach out to the Bruning law firm at 573-400-2796 for a free consultation. Once again, 573-400-2796. We'll be back. I don't know. I'll have PM in the AM tomorrow. Who knows? A lot of portal stuff happening. If something merits us doing a show between now and Saturday, we will. But Saturday night, Drew King in Oxford, Mississippi. And we'll be live with you once again then. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.